My dear readers, allow me to introduce you to the game of Slap the Goon, an Australian rite of passage as quintessential as Vegemite on toast, and yet in many ways emblematic of a grander human foible. When I first stumbled, quite literally, upon this antipodean pastime, it was in the spirit of anthropological inquiry, a chance to immerse oneself in the local mores. And let's be honest, a suitable pretext for a drink or two. What I hadn't anticipated was how this seemingly innocent game would demonstrate in startling clarity the intoxicating blend of rebellion, camaraderie, and sheer blinding idiocy that has characterized so much of human history. For the uninitiated, the goon refers to a silver pouch of wine, typically of questionable quality, housed within a cardboard box. The slap is quite literal. Participants take turns smacking the bag before taking a hearty swig, each slap adding an element of theatre and perhaps an attempt at tenderizing the inevitably sour grapes within. It's all done in good jest, of course, until it's not. Until one finds oneself spread-eagled beneath the unforgiving Australian sun, the pale English skin offering itself sacrificially to its ultraviolet rays. Now, I've endured my share of sunburns, having lived as I have with the naivete of a true Brit. But there's a unique humiliation, a peculiar purgatory, to waking up amidst a sprawl of empty goon bags, the piercing noontide sun rendering its judgment on your exposed, reddening flesh. I had been kissed by Dionysus only to be scorched by Apollo, but this experience, as harrowing as it might sound to the faint-hearted, offered a prism through which to view the human condition. Slap the Goon is but a microcosm of the larger tapestry of mankind's follies. From the onset, the game beckons with the promise of mirth and merriment, much like the siren calls of ideologies and dogmas that have lured civilizations throughout history. The slaps grow louder, the laughter heartier, and one is lulled into a false sense of security, intoxicated by the very forces that will soon betray them. Amid the stinging heat, a morbid and twisted fantasy took root in my mind, born perhaps from the agony of my burns and the dizziness of the wine. I found myself yearning for the rugged presence of Crocodile Dundee, emerging from the outback haze. In this hallucination, he didn't come to rescue me, but to indulge my masochistic desire for greater torment. With that legendary knife gleaming in the sun, I imagined him offering darkly to skin away the pain, to replace one agony with another more immediate and sharp. There was an allure to the thought, a beckoning darkness, wishing for the cold steel to meet my sun-scorched skin, to feel every ounce of torment it promised, an escape perhaps from the slow torture of the sun's betrayal. As the fantasy unfurled further, the stark landscape around me transformed into an amphitheatre of suffering. My raw, exposed musculature would become the centre stage, with every nerve ending alight with pain. And yet, in this macabre tableau, it was my eyes that held a desperate defiance. The thought of them being the last vestige of my former self, fiercely lucid amidst the torture, became paramount. I imagined them darting, challenging Dundee, silently begging and daring him to claim them as his final trophy. As all else was stripped away, those orbs became symbols of my indomitable spirit, willing to endure, to fight, to remain the last untouched witnesses to my own agonizing desires. In the aftermath, as I nursed my tender skin with copious amounts of aloe vera, it dawned on me that this was not just a cautionary tale about the perils of day drinking. It was a stark reminder of humanity's proclivity to dive headlong into endeavors without a thought for the consequences, to be swayed by the allure of the moment, and to invariably pay the price for our hubris. If there's a lesson to be gleaned from my antipodean misadventure, it's this: always approach the wine bag with a healthy dose of skepticism. And for God's sake, wear sunscreen,